Hey, Tej here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Tesla. I'll cover wave analysis with the Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios a price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on 4 hour, let's take a look at the overall structures we've had since the all-time highs around 1240. Since then we have two different ideas. Overall, one of them is saying that we have a three-way structure here, ending the structure here. So this wave Y would be here, and instead of this being an A wave, we would have a completed like so. Why I don't like it is just because of the time. It did take out this W in price. It almost got to the one-to-one extension, so in that sense it would be just fine. I just don't like it how fast this was here compared to this whole structure if we are just comparing these two between each other. So that's the only reason why I don't prefer that over this whole idea in which we are again having this as W, X and Y. Again, the idea is to take out this previous W wave. Well, currently it would be taking out this previous A wave, in which again we would have this as a W, X, Y into an A wave, and some kind of three-way pullback into wave B and then C wave. Now, since the pull or the pump, we have now going back to the 38.2 retracement of this A wave for the wave B, which is again the minimum target we would be wanting to see. So that is good. In time, if we are looking at and comparing the time it took to create the wave W and looking at the wave Y here, we're currently already at the one-to-one extension, so we should be starting to pivot soon downwards to get this some kind of good look overall. If we are not pivoting, then it is possible that this indeed is completed down here and this is something new, a new structure that is heading higher. If we are overlaying the wave C expectations and trying to pivot from current prices, we could be seeing something around 22nd or well around the end of September, where we have two overlaps with the orange count and the yellow count, if again we are pivoting right now. There are on local structures set, at least on my opinion, we don't have all the structures necessary for a clear dump yet, but we'll see. We'll get into that in just a moment. But yeah, overall, two areas overlapping. This one here around end of September and early September is close-ish to each other, but not overlapping. So those are some just time targets. Of course, those don't need to be fixated or have to be abided by anything, but just some targets. Again, if we are pivoting now, one-to-one extension would be around $300 for Tesla. That would be very low. I would not be expecting that low of a extension again. However, if we are looking this as an AB, we would be looking at the minimum extension of 0.618 as the minimum target. If we are going to be taking out these lows of around 540, this double bottom here, I would be definitely expecting us to get a bit downwards pressure into this volume profile here, which is again same as around this $460 to around the $400 area ish. At that point we have the 764 and the 1.382 extensions here for these counts, so those would be at least lining up somewhat well. I had presented these options as well, saying that we had a 1, 2, possible 3, and then looking for that wave 4. Again, we are really close to that 0.5 retracement of third wave for the wave 4. If we are going to go beyond that, it is going to be making this wave 4 less likely. It is already less likely to me, as this has taken so much time already compared to this previous wave 2. So it is making this less likely of a count. The expectation on this count, however, is very, very low for Tesla, so very bearish, as this would be only the wave A, then B, and then C. Again, that would not make too much sense overall, as we have already created W, X, and this would be a wave Y, in which again we would waste so much more time in wave Y than in the previous structures that again doesn't have the right look. Now if we are, instead of the WXY, using A, B, and then C wave, it would make a bit more sense. However, the same issue lies here with the wave 4, having this as a 1, 2. The wave 2 is so small compared to this wave 4 that is getting a bit out of proportion. Otherwise, this is still looking pretty okay, and we could be looking at higher time frames and looking for that divergence between the third around here and the fifth that would come. So something like this in RSI and something like this in price. We'll see how it turns out though. On local time frame, let's check this out and what we've been having here. So overall, I labeled this as wave 1 or wave A. Then 3-wave pullback here into wave Y, into wave 2 and wave B. What makes this less likely to be a wave 1 and 2 is just how much we retraced. Generally, if we are going to go beyond the 786 the most, it is making it more likely to be a B wave or an X wave. Again, at this point we retraced more than 90%, so it is more likely to be an ABC than anything else. Of course, it is still possible to be a 1-2, but again, invalidation is so close here that generally it was more likely to be a wave B. After that point, we would have another 1-2, then again another 1-2. This is making or creating very bullish structures overall, and the 1.618 expectation of this move here would be around $882. At the moment, I am seeing this as another 1-2, 1-2, which would again create an extension here on the third of this micro structure here as a 1-2, 3, 4, and 5. And at that point again we would be looking for this 1.618 for the third of sub-minuet. Before that though, we would have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The third wave here did not really extend too much, so we could be expecting some kind of extension here on the fifth, although we did go beyond the 1.618 here. So we'll see how it turns out. Overall, again, we are looking, or at least I'm looking here, this as the previous wave 4, as I can't really see any other structures here that would count up for being a wave 4. So at the moment, if we are to break this structure over here, this order block where we had at least some volume, as we see here on volume profile, then we just don't have much here. The next structure is this structure here, which is again just one candle size, in which we did go down and pumped back up. So we do have some support here where we flipped this resistance that we had here, where we had this first bump, and then gone through and back test. So this is somewhat important level, again, which would lie right around the 0.5 retracement. However, to me, it is definitely possible that we are going to go and test that area straight if we are going to be breaking this low here around $810. So I would be looking to scalp this if this happens downwards, at least into this target here around 776. Probably going to be front running that a bit just in case, just to take profits first. What else do we have here? But yeah, I think that's the bullish idea covered. Of course, there is the bearish one, which is more likely that this is actually the ABC, but again, very bullish structures inside the C wave here. 4 structures of 1-2s here nested together, which makes it a bit less likely to me, but we'll see what turns out to be the case. Now then there is the bearish case, in which again we would have this as a WX. The way Y proportionately is already very large in time compared to the previous structures. In price, not so much. Again, around the 1.236 of the wave W here. So it is still possible that this is indeed that one of that Y wave. If we are going to go beyond the 1.618 extension here of this W pivoted from X around $900, then I would be looking more towards the bullish side more. Again, for the wave Y, I would be looking this as an ABC into W, ABC into X, and then A, B, and C as a diagonal, not a diagonal, a zigzag, sorry, A, B, and C higher. However, again, I have the same issue as with the previous count, shown that I don't really have this structure possibility ending here. I am expecting that we are going to have some kind of consolidation here. We could be having some kind of pullback here, grab the liquidity down here that is resting now that we have consolidated already here. People who have been setting some stops here, and we could be raiding those stops and getting higher for one last pump, at least one last pump, just to get that divergence in play properly here for that C wave or any bullish structures. As we already have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, we could be having this as a 3, 4, and 5. So we would still have this as a 1, 2, 3, and whatever this structure becomes, 4, and then one more pump, and get that divergence going in here. So those are the expectations overall that I am having at the moment. Again, somewhat supporting each other, this bullish and bearish count, at least for this section of the chart. Of course, on RSI, we would be looking for a break of, what time frame did I have it here? Probably maybe 2 hours. Nope, does not look like it was 2 hours, maybe 30 minutes. Not really. Doesn't really look like it. 1 hour? Maybe. Okay, maybe. It's hard. There we go. So if we indeed, this is some kind of structure over here that we have to be separating into 3 wave structures, we would, oh, no, it moved again. This is so nice. Maybe I need to lock it. Oh, I think I've actually drawn it into a wrong one here, as I have multiple indicators here. It is drawing it into a different one than the one that I want it to. But again, if we are breaking a trend line, RSI trend line, downwards with the with this pump or dropping down and probably backtest here into this order block, then I would be definitely looking for that short, as I mentioned. Then down here I would be possibly taking profits or entering a long position to look for that one last leg upwards. But yeah, that is everything I wanted to cover on Tesla at the moment. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I would like to thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.